We are live.
We are now live streaming to YouTube.
Wow.
This is our first time.
You're amazing, Daena.
I know.
I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh, I'm just going to get on my iPad and play while you figure out all the technical stuff.
Yes. So now I just want to make sure I get to our YouTube page so that we can make sure we're keeping up with any comments if somebody happens to find us. We're actually trying not to get this out until Friday evening, which is our regularly scheduled blog talk radio show.
Say that 3 times fast.
I know, right?
Yeah, because we've got that red carpet event to go to.
Yes.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
We have a busy weekend. Mm-hmm. Yes, we do. So that's going to be good. We're going to talk about all kinds of fun stuff today, right?
Yes, always. And not the normal.
Not the normal. Well, I don't think there's really anything normal about what we do.
Well, we don't see us live, so I don't know what's really happening.
Let's see. Let's go back to our little thing.
Of course, we put a little piece of paper on it because this is my day off. And I've been giving dogs baths and organizing my house. And Daena goes, oh, let's do the show today instead of tomorrow.
Well, I can see that it can hear us because of the microphone.
Yes.
But I don't even know how to stop the recording.
Oh, no. It may go on forever.
Yeah, we might just have to turn the computer off and hope for the best.
Well, so as you can tell with the angelic movement, we need a lot of help in a lot of areas.
Yes.
And the most important is technical right now.
Yes.
Psychics don't tend to use that part of our brain normally. Daena is really good at it more than any other psychic I know.
Look.
Oh, there we are.
We are current. And one person's viewing, which is probably
us.
Should we share the link and tell everybody that we're doing this?
Why not? Let's just make it interesting. We're just going to talk for about an hour about some different things that are going on. This is Mercury retrograde leaving with its little, I don't know, I think that it's flipping us off.
Saying we're going to leave one last final impression.
Exactly.
Until next time.
Yes.
And I'm just making sure we're muted on here so we can be on here. So now, if there's anyone who has something to say, they can live chat with us.
You know what? This is amazing because this is how we'll do our Angels Unveiled show. So you're even smarter than I thought you were.
I know. Well, I've always known this. It's just getting you to recognize.
Well, I just put you in difficult situations so it's shown.
That's right.
Oh my gosh, so our puppy had her first bath today at the house. She'd had one before, but I basically got a bath too because I had to hold her while I was bathing her in the kitchen sink.
Aw,
so
sweet puppy.
She didn't get too traumatized, but trust me, she has a pathetic look.
I know. She is now crashed out on a little pillow on the floor, and she's the most adorable little fluffy Ewok.
She does look like an Ewok. So what we're doing is, I'll have to put up the picture because I watched the other dogs and stuck them in a crate for a minute, and all she did was run around them like crazy, going nanner nanner. But then she got her bath. So,
oh, yes, she's a sweet, sweet child, and we're going to talk about today the
different traditions.
Yes.
Yes. What's interesting to me is there's old ways and then there's the new old ways, like the ancient ways of the goddess, where we honor the earth and we're in unison with the earth when we have the 13 months in a year, because that's how many moon cycles there were in a year.
Yes.
And we talk about that in the Melchizedek method and re-encode our time frame so that we are more in sync with everything that's going on. But sometimes in our busy world and everything going on, we don't slow down enough to look at special days. And May 1st, sometimes it's also considered April the 30th, is Beltane. And that is a time that's right between the equinox and the solstice.
Yes. So right between spring and summer,
yes,
basically. Okay.
Yes. And it's another fertility time, because they have the Easter, the Ostara, and I forget, Mabon, Ostara, and then Beltane. If I said that right. Anyway, I like to take that time just to remember that we are one with the earth. And sometimes you can bring flowers in the house, or you can plant flowers. I know when I lived up north, that was the time when we would plant peas in the garden and onions. So a lot of people forget about the fact that they actually follow those ways without knowing they're following those ways.
Yes.
But, you know, the patriarchal and some of the dogmatic religious ones washed out all of this way of being one with the earth, because they thought that the ancient people were worshiping the earth, and they weren't worshiping the earth. They were just being in unison with the earth, realizing we're part of what earth is. So
yeah, and I can definitely see that in how we interact now, and I feel like there was a reason why we had to kind of pull away for a little bit, and I think more so it's to make us appreciate it more when we come back.
So what do you mean? You think that that's why people started pulling away from the old ways and started...
Well, obviously the reason behind that was for religious and control purposes, but if you look at it from a spiritual perspective, the sense that I have is we almost had to fall away and experience some of the consequences like we are now of what the earth is going through, and species becoming extinct and losing plant life and destroying our waters. And I think we had to experience that just so we could truly come back and be able to appreciate it more, which I think is what humanity will eventually get to. Some of us have already gotten there.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point, because I'm thinking about people have even talked about that with the election. Why was someone like that elected that might not be good for the earth? And that's part of the reason, so everybody will wake up and realize we got to do something to make a difference.
And it takes each of us putting in and not placing the expectations on one specific faction of the government or the Environmental Protection Agency. It's their job.
Right.
You know, it's all of our jobs, and I think that that's why it's important to honor some of those ancient traditions, because it can remind us how connected we once were with you.
That's why you're such a nag about recycling at the store.
I am. I'm a nag about recycling everywhere. I even honked my horn and waved at a lady who was carrying down her recycling bin this morning.
You're so funny.
This cute little old lady walking down her driveway with her recycle bin, and I waved and honked, and she just looked at me like I was crazy, but...
Well, you are.
I was thanking her for that.
Yeah, and it does take extra effort, especially like with us at the store, because we have to carry all ours home and put in our respective places, because they don't have it down in... Do they even have it in the city of Cocoa?
I think they do, just not in the village. I think if we wanted to, we'd have to pay for the extra service and for the bin and all that stuff, which is just easier to take it and split it up between all of our houses.
I think it's easier just to have you take it home.
That's true. Yes. Which I was going to do today and I didn't. So it's full at the store right now.
Yeah. So. Well, there are different ways too, because we're also talking about getting a water machine in there so we don't use the bottles.
Yes, absolutely. That's important, because you know, it's, even with the plastic and how these bottles are made, the water inside of the bottles isn't even really that good for you. Right. I mean, I've seen all these videos where people will get the water testing strips and test all the different brands of bottled waters.
Right.
And some of them are worse than the tap water you would get right out of the tap. So I definitely say research and anything that you can do with more of an alkaline water structure is definitely important. Like Publix, they actually sell alkaline water, and you can go and fill up your jugs and
with that.
and get so.
Well, that's interesting because Tim and I were chatting about that because of the little puppy today. Because she's white and she's got those rusty tears.
Yeah, she's so sweet, but she's already starting to look like an old pup.
But he was reading about Bashan Freeses, and they said that if you will put 1 teaspoon of organic apple cider in a gallon of even tap water,
Okay.
it will change the pH, and their eyes won't get that way.
Okay. I've also heard that with organic baking soda too. It will actually alkaline the water, which may change the taste a little bit.
Yeah. This other is I forget what it does with the minerals, but that's what's interesting. We have a red dog. The dachshund's red, so we've never noticed anything with him. But if you think about that, that's a lot of people just drink straight tap water, so that's what they're getting. But I also noticed that know that we can change the structure of water by putting symbols in it and putting love in it. Like the girls at the store, they bring in their bottles of water that says, I love you, I'm prosperous, whatever, just some real positive. They've just put Sharpies, taken their Sharpie and written on their big water bottle that they refill.
Right.
So,
and that's just all, validation from Dr. Emoto,
right,
who was the one that did all the research with the structure of water and how it shifted based on the intention,
right,
or what was written on it and things like that. So,
yeah.
And a Nell symbol, the archangel that
yes.
you break through, her symbol will shift the vibration of the water as well.
Yeah, it shifts the vibration of food. It shifts your vibration. It's just pretty amazing. I'm always surprised. The first time I told you about that time that I had had it written on little pieces of paper, and some didn't have it written on, and I folded them up and mixed them up, and I didn't know which was which, and I'd never done this before, but I had people hold one of them, and they would muscle test each other thinking about something bad. And everyone that held a Nell symbol was still strong.
Wow.
And the other ones were empty. The ones that were weak. And I'm like, that's what made a believer out of me.
Absolutely.
So after that, I'm like, I got to look into this symbol some more. The angel knew what she was doing.
What a shocker.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So you can find that symbol on our website, and the reason it is powerful, and we get back to being one with the earth, is it has 8 points on this star in the middle, and you can see it on our logo too. So the four of them are the 4 directions of the earth, and the other 4 are the 4 elements: earth, air, water, fire, and circles, spirit. And then the wing, with the help of the angels, is the wings. And the center circle actually is the angel Azrael supporting Anel. So those are 2 angels that get along pretty well together most of the time.
This time. In this millennia, they do.
Yeah, well, let's just not talk about the other.
That's a different show.
Yeah, that's a
the
different
history
show.
of the angels.
Yes.
When
they did not get along so well.
Yeah, when they split apart.
Well, I'll tell you what, people don't understand this about angels. They think angels are just all lovey, fluffy, whatever, but they really have a little bit of an ego. And you and I have seen that both even with Anel and Azrael. If you want to ask, I hear Anel go, if you want to ask me for help, ask me for help. But if you want to ask another angel for help, I'm stepping back. So, and that's kind of honoring the human free will.
Absolutely.
And many people think that the angels are there at our beck and command. We're getting off topic, but I saw somebody say, I have this invocation that I just call the angels in. Okay, good luck with that. Because he was going to demand that they came in. He wasn't going to ask.
Yeah, angels don't really respond very kindly when we try to order them around.
Really.
They do much better if we just honor them and, ask and listen when they actually give us some information. Because that's the other problem is they won't stick around. If it's like I always love that Facebook meme. It's called, what is an ask hole?
What is that?
An asshole is the person who always comes to you asking for advice and always has questions, but then doesn't listen to what you tell them.
Or how about the ones that argue? I've done readings like that, and they go, no, no.
Yeah, there's some people, it's like, you don't have it, you can't, they could have the God herself come down and give an answer, and they're going to find something to argue about.
Yeah.
So.
And that's their free will, but,
and a lot of us humans, I think we do have that time in our life, just hopefully it's at a time where we're younger and we get it out of the way, so then we can learn to be a little more open and willing to follow, because, I mean, I know you've gone through this, and I go through the same thing. The angels want things from us when you really start getting deeper into the spiritual work that we don't necessarily want.
Absolutely.
So it's about figuring out how to agree and follow the direction you're being given, even when you feel that it's not lining up with your dreams and your desires.
Yeah.
Just like when it now told you were supposed to be on screen and being in the spotlight.
Yeah, and I had a knockdown drag out with her.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who won?
She did.
Being raised as I was, as a preacher's child, and not just a normal preacher's child. My dad had so many people coming to him, other preachers and all over the country and world, actually, so I couldn't go places without people recognizing me and knowing who I was. I was always in the spotlight, and they always reminded me that, who I was, and that I had to set a good example. So that got a little heavy. But it's nice that angels don't care about some of the stuff that they do.
That's true.
They do.
That's true. You get a lot more freedom.
Yeah, yeah. And back to the angels and with the old and the ancient ways, because in Beltane, there is the honoring of the earth, honoring of the trees, and a lot of times, I don't remember if I just said this or not, but Christians, when they came around and saw the practices, they thought that the ancients were worshiping, but they were just honoring. The ancients would they would have their sacred spots.
Yeah.
Because they could feel the energy off of certain trees and certain rocks and certain places. And do you know why that is?
Why?
It is because when the angels first came to this planet and started working with humankind, there was, which that will be our other show, the battle, and they were hiding.
Yeah.
So they found out they could hide in trees, rocks, and in certain ground structures. And so when they didn't have to hide there anymore, because they would leave their angelic signature there. So the ancient seers could feel the vibration still left by those divine beings.
Yes.
And then those became the sacred places.
Absolutely. That makes total sense, because you'll even still go to a place and you'll feel a being that is there, that is left there. Now, sometimes it's a really nice feeling, and other times it's one that's a little angry.
Yes.
Which actually the store that is nearby us that needs the clearing, we're going to get that on the books tomorrow, because there's a being close by that needs to be cleared. It scared the woman out of the store this morning.
Oh, no.
She had all of the arm hair and neck hair standing up, and her body was just like, get out until somebody else comes in. So she did. She listened. I said, well, good for you for honoring and listening, because you could have opened yourself up for an attack.
Yeah. And that's the problem is when people set things in motion, and that's been happening a lot. Where we're finding people that have had curses placed against them, or the place where it's been against the place they're in, and we have to cut those ties so that we can put love and light into that space, and bring the vibration higher.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's all over.
It is. You're right about that. I was actually just looking to see if this was keeping track of how long we've been going. Because
I'm looking at the clock.
what time did we start? 3:45.
No,
When
I thought it was 3:30.
we have not been talking for half an hour.
Seems like we've been talking for 5 hours.
Oh,
I've
please.
had to deal with you, though.
Oh, dear. I don't know why. I can't see how long we've been going, but that's okay. We'll make it work. I was just going to start. I was going to just cover a couple more things about Beltane and some things I found that were interesting. Of course, it's an honoring of the earth and bringing in fertility, but it's also a celebration of the god, the goddess, the May King and the May Queen. So a lot of people will do offerings to the goddess because the goddess is always the one who's worshipped.
Yeah, as it should be.
In the ancient
I'm not seeing a
traditions.
problem with that.
They will do offerings such as different woods. They would use different trees like hawthorn, which is a magical tree, which is also Celtic. And they would use birch trees to
Hawthorn
offer
is
to the goddess.
really strong.
Oh, well.
I mean, it's like the rabbits can't even get through that. It's a great protection thing.
Yes.
I have a tool made out of that.
It was worn and used to decorate homes during Beltane. And of course, that is probably for protection. The birch trees usually start to show its leaves in spring. That's another good offering to the goddess if you're wanting fertility and abundance. And
So if you want to get pregnant, use the birch tree.
yeah, the birch tree. And then rowan, which is a tree of protection and healing. It was placed as protection over the doors of houses and barns to protect from increased fairy activity. Because
Yes.
apparently the fairies were liking all that god goddess sexual energy going on. So
Absolutely.
so it's obviously past. It's May 1st, but like any holiday or full moon or anything like that, the vibration stays with us the first 3 days before and 3 days afterwards. So we're still kind of in that phase as it's moving
So
out.
with we're talking ancient traditions, but what does Cinco de Mayo have to do with that? That's the 5th of May.
I don't know. We're not talking about something.
It might be important.
It's
You didn't research that
a
one, did you?
Mexican holiday. I don't freaking know.
But it's
Or
could
Spanish.
be really tied in. I see so many of them tie in with everything.
It's to commemorate the
Oh.
army's unlikely victory over French forces.
Huh.
So
Well, I learned something new.
the French lost at the Battle of Puebla.
Well, that's because they were trying to push their way into the Mexican territory.
Well, they
They
weren't
didn't
having it.
belong there.
The Mexicans won.
Good for them.
Yes, good for them. So, yeah, I had a feeling it. I
I
don't
guess
know.
we can't turn that into something spiritual.
I mean, I'm sure we could because most battles were spiritually, spiritually. There's a spiritual root to all of the
Yes.
battles that occur on the earth.
Yes.
There's a lot of forces at work that people don't really pay attention to or know about. And there's actually a really good show that come out. It's on Stars. I actually got Stars as a free thingy through my cable company. And there's a show on Stars called American Gods.
Huh.
And it is all about the god of war and
Oh.
how he influences.
That's Apollo.
Exactly. Well, that's yes. There's I think there's more than one from the
Okay.
time frames. But anyway, it talks about some of those more hidden influences that affect the reason why people can become violent and even entire groups of people can
Yes.
become violent and all of that. There's usually some kind of a deity or entity behind it.
It makes sense.
Uh-huh. It makes sense as to why America can't ever seem to keep their nose out of trouble either, because look at all the battles that have been
Yeah.
fought here and all of the energy of the
Right.
earth.
Right.
So we have a lot of clearing to do
Yep.
on this planet.
Absolutely. I think we're doing that one at a time, and I think that's why we've had so many calls to clear houses and businesses
Absolutely.
and other things like that. And the word's getting around that we do that. It's kind of cool though that we're able to do that remotely too.
Yes.
So we can do that over Skype or it's a little, we can do it over email, but it's easier Skype or phone
Yes.
to do it that way.
Absolutely. So I was thinking, since I don't know how long we've been
So let's do some questions.
doing this, yes, I have the question.
I have questions on that.
No, I have the
Oh
question.
my God. This is what I have to deal with every day.
I'll pick one and then you pick one. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. So Donna Davin was
Well,
the.
maybe she doesn't want her whole name done.
Oh,
Oh,
crap.
yeah. She
Sorry.
did put it on Facebook, though.
Well, I probably shouldn't have. So Donna, I'm sorry, Donna D. She was the first to comment on our Facebook post. We asked for people to put some questions on because we weren't sure if we could take live callers. But it looks like here on YouTube we can. So if you are watching us live on YouTube, we have a whole 2 people. One of those might be us. You can type a question right into the live chat and we can answer your question there as well. So,
Did you post that on Facebook that we were
yes,
doing
I
that?
did, because I'm awesome. Yes, you're
I
welcome.
know.
So, Donna's question is, I wonder what I'm supposed to do lately. I have had 2 deaths and my daughter close to it, which I do feel a lot of grief and a lot of sorrows, and the one area of the body, Donna, that I'm picking up on with you is the lungs.
I was going all in the heart area, too.
Yes, the lungs feel really heavy. They feel like you're holding fluid in the lungs. It feels like energetically you have been empathic for way too long and you're not working hard enough to protect your own energy. And that's what I'm hearing the guidance for you is coming in. It's like, yes, it's unfortunate there's people around you that are going through tough times, but it's actually dragging you down, and that has got to stop. So you need to be working on self-healing, bringing in some, I definitely recommend a Reiki attunement. Get yourself level 1 Reiki and start on the self-healing if you haven't done that already.
And yes, and just some clearing. Use a now symbol and also that pyramid of protection. Put it over you and put it over your whole house. And you can find that here on the YouTube channel under Pyramid of Protection. We'll post it up later.
Yes, and it will be on our website here shortly as well.
Yeah, so check our website too.
Yes, perfect.
And our website is morganastarr.com or angels-oasis.com. You'll go to the same one. We're in transition.
Yes.
So Nori wants to know, what's this month have for me? It's a really general question, Nori. I'm trying to decide if they're listening. I'm thinking, no, they're not listening, but they might be. So there's been a lot of energetic clearings for people this whole year. 2016 was very hard, and coming into this month was, this year has been getting rid of all that. If you didn't get rid of the stuff last year, you better get rid of it now.
That's right.
It just is getting heavier and heavier. So I really recommend that you work on that. Just understanding, letting go. So I feel like there'll be opportunities. Actually, what's happening and spring cleaning. We talk about spring cleaning. So it feels like that's what you need to do, and because you got to let go of some things in your life.
Yes, yeah, I do see that, and I do see that, Nori, you're extremely talented, but you are not using your gifts. And I'm seeing you having a lot of talents around organizing, putting together events, being out and about with people. So there's something that's stopping you from doing what you love. And I'm hearing you need to do some meditation and figure out how to move past your own blocks. The good thing, it's not the universe. There's nobody else blocking you. There's just a couple mental blocks that need to be removed. And I do see by the end of the month, it will be a successful month and you'll be started on a new endeavor. So hopefully that helps give you some guidance. Wendy Lynn.
There you go with the last names again.
Sorry.
I can't get this girl to behave. Sorry, guys.
Wendy, which I don't feel like Lynn's her last name anyway.
No, I don't think it is.
Okay.
But I'm going to give you a hard time. Anyway.
Okay. Wendy, she's wanting to decide whether or not to file for a custody issue regarding a vacation. Should I file or not? I feel like it's all going to work out. I don't see you needing to actually go through the courts. Maybe just by the fact of you talking about filing it,
yes,
will bring the other person into line. It seems like a very silly dispute, and it does have to do with some unresolved emotional junk, which obviously we have a lot of when we have children and relationships that didn't work out. But I do see it ultimately being just fine, and you getting what you need so that you can enjoy your vacation and enjoy your child. Anything with you?
No, I actually got the same thing because I glanced through that and looked at her question, and it's like that's your backup plan, and you let them know that's what it is, and things will settle. The next one in the line, Donna, bless your heart, no one can answer this stuff I'm dealing with now. And really, Daena and I have both been through the ringer with a lot of issues, and one situation came to my mind when I read that, Donna, and I'm not sure what your particular situation is that I had a time when I was a single mom with my kids and made an interesting choice, because that's what I choose to call it, to move in with a guy that I found didn't know very long, and after 6 months decided it was best to leave because he had already had some sort of a record for threatening his ex with a gun.
Oh dear.
But had gotten it dismissed, but he still had a gun, and he was very, very angry. And I ended up leaving when he wasn't home, but then he got home as I was moving out. And it was hard. It was really, really hard. That whole trauma and drama surrounding that was hard to break free from. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that I went through it. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that I broke away. I'd probably be dead today if I hadn't. So in just saying that, I understand when people are going through abusive situations. Of course, I'm a hard learner, so I did a few more.
Really?
Yeah.
You do have a hard head, too.
I do.
Stubborn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt a few times, and it shrunk. Several times. So hang in there, ask the angels for help, but sometimes you got to do the hard work.
Yeah, and I see Donna, it's funny you brought that up. Donna, I see that you have you like to hide. You place like a sheath or a cloaking around yourself, which isn't always a bad thing, but there are some things that the angels are asking you to step out and deal with in the open with others to support you, because you really do have a lot of support. And I see that some of the painful things you've been dealing with have been emotionally closing you off from those that care about you. So you really do have a lot of support, and they just want you to know you're still being guided.
Yeah, there's a lot of love around her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you just haven't tapped into that. And again, it's hard when you're in the middle and you're in survival mode. So we'll just send some extra healing energy your way.
Yes.
Denise asked, what's in store for me this month?
Denise, you have a lot of spirits around you. I feel that you're kind of surrounded by loved ones. I feel you've got quite a few family members that have passed over that are all kind of touching your face and kissing you. So I feel like for some reason you need some extra energy at this time. Something's going on health-wise. I do feel you very low on energy. You're not moving around like you used to. And I do see that whatever this is, whatever this kind of health regression is, will start to kick back up. But they're saying you've got to get out more. You've got to move around. Don't let yourself get stuck at home. There is an energy clearing, too, that I'm sensing needs to be done around your home. There are just some, doesn't feel like anything negative, but it just feels like there's some stuck energy that needs to be pushed through for you, so that you can start to feel better.
Yeah.
Again, lots of love from Spirit. That's all I'm getting.
Okay.
For you?
The only thing to add to that, to help you with health issues, I kept seeing the green superfoods would really help you this month to kind of build up again. So Samantha, should I move to England next year?
I really am getting a 50-50 at this point. It's like, yes, you could, and there's some benefits to doing it, but there's going to be a lot of things you need to handle here that you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be away for this. And then the other 50% is you staying and feeling like you missed out on an opportunity. So I really feel like you're right in the middle of making this decision at this point. And I'm hearing that it's not that important that you know. August feels like a month where you'll make a decision and you'll stick with it. You'll know, you'll have more clarity.
Well, the thing is about that even if it is a wrong decision, you can move back.
That's true.
Because so many people stop themselves from doing amazing things and getting these wonderful experiences because, oh my gosh, what if it's the wrong one? You know, Samantha, you're going to be around for a long time. So you have a very long lifeline. So you might as well go to England, enjoy yourself, and if it doesn't work out, as Daena was saying, I do get a little bit of that. There may be more challenges than you thought, but what an experience. So, you know, go for it. That's what I think.
Okay, well.
I don't know if the angels think that, but they really do. We're so scared to do stuff.
We're so scared to jump.
Yeah.
Well, moving to another country, that's a big deal.
Well, sure.
Especially England, because there's lots of rain there. I would
Lots of rain there.
I would pick somewhere much more tropical, a little bit warmer.
She has a soul connection to
Thailand or Italy, something.
She has a soul connection to England. That's why she feels like she needs to go.
I feel like there's work opportunities for her there.
Well, there you go.
We're both soul and work.
Yeah,
always good to fit as much in as you can.
And then Cindy, same sort of question, but
Across the country.
Would like to know, see if you see me going across the country for love or work. I'm getting this more for work.
Yeah, I was like, why is she still looking for love?
The only love you can find is in yourself.
Yes.
Because other people just don't know how to behave.
Well, and I'm hearing you'll enjoy, this is funny, I love the way the angels talk. She will enjoy the presence of several different gentlemen, but she won't settle down for quite a few years now. Somebody coming through who's very proper.
Well, it's probably because we were talking about England and the British
That's
people.
true.
What British angel were you just channeling?
I don't know. Who knows?
Time to go away. We don't want that prophetess in this house. But yeah, you go across the country. It will be work situation. It'll be a great opportunity for you. And yeah, I do see a lot of, oh my gosh.
Not a gentleman suitor.
Oh, what is the word? I can't think of it. I can read it, but I can't pronounce it. Dalliance, she'll meet a few and have a wonderful time.
I just heard Arizona too. Something around Arizona, Phoenix area for you. I'm not sure where you're looking at cross country now, but there'll be a couple different opportunities coming in. I feel like you'll be able to make a lot more money in other states than you will in Florida based on what your specialty is. So yes, you should, because you'll be setting yourself up for retirement. So, okay, next one. Alice wants to know when she'll be moving into her own home.
It's going to be a lot sooner than you expected. I'm hearing this, or seeing a phone call that's going to be like out of the blue, and an opportunity is going to arise. But as I'm seeing it, it may not be. It's going to be a little different. It's either someone else's home that you're going to house sit for a period of time, but you'll have your own space. So that's what, by your own home. It feels really good. Just take a breath.
It does. Yeah, it feels like you definitely have to wait for some pieces to come together. There's got to be an approval coming through, something. It's like you have to get permission for some reason. So I do see those permissions coming in and you being able to do it. Just don't push yourself too hard, is what the angel said, because you work a little too hard and you have a lot of expectations on yourself, and they're saying you need to learn how to relax. So please do that in between time. The fact that you're getting a little bit of a delay is because they do want you to take some time for yourself.
Well, I'm noticing a lot of the questions are about moving forward. And remember, we're just coming out of Mercury retrograde.
That's true.
And it's not a good time to move forward. And if you keep trying to push forward in Mercury retrograde, you're going to hit your head in a brick wall all the time.
I love the way you say push. Push. You push for it.
I have my own Morganese speech.
I love it. It's cute.
So, the thing, now I forgot what I was saying. It was important.
Oh, come on. Let's just move to the next.
Okay.
I like that we can do this without people asking questions, and we can just keep going. We can knock through a whole bunch of free readings.
That's right.
I love it. Okay, so Vivian, I won't say her last name.
Okay.
See, I did it.
Good
Vivian says, so many struggling for so long, but getting by. I do what needs to be done and enjoy when I can. I'm ready for a change. Do you see a change happening? And I just heard yes. I see you, Vivian, as somebody, you have come through a lot. You've gone through a metamorphosis. I actually see your physical body shrinking, so I don't know if you have kind of lost weight over the last few years, but I see you being able to maintain a healthier lifestyle. Yes, change is coming through for you, but you do need to change some of the people around you. Yeah. So I don't necessarily see that any of those people are bad per se, but I do see that they hold a lot of stagnant energy.
They feel heavy.
Yeah, and by you being around them, you're holding their stagnant energy as well, because you're very empathic and you do have some healing gifts, and the angels want you to embrace those gifts and be able to learn how to increase your force field, increase the aura around you so that you have a strength about you, rather than this feeling of just kind of moving through life and life being the one in control. They really want to put you in the driver's seat, so you're in for a ride.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely see that as well. Someone else, Pam, wants to know when we're going to make the move to North Carolina.
She said, will we, not when.
Oh, well, I guess she's a when, because they're trying to tell me the month.
Okay, so tell me the month.
It feels to me like, and I'm like, okay, this is a long time, June to September. That's like not very good, but they said that a lot of it's going to be you making that decision, because you haven't made the decision, and your guides are very like, well, I don't even know if she wants to move to North Carolina some days she does, and sometimes she doesn't. So till she decides, and that's the deal. You need to you would really benefit from a vision board, or just finding a picture of a home that you like in North Carolina, even if it's not the one you buy, and putting it on your refrigerator and start seeing yourself there. So that will move you quicker.
Yeah, it does feel like there's something heavy around you. Some kind of a responsibility or somebody needing something from you that seems to be kind of draining your energy and also draining your resources.
But it's not really somebody that you're making the choice to do that.
Oh yeah, no, everything's a choice.
Well, there's a lot of codependent issues coming up this year.
Yeah, that's true.
Where people feel like, well, I have to help them because they're family. No, you don't. You've lived so many lifetimes. You've had so much family. This is just a family you have this lifetime. And the more that you give them, it's like giving alcohol to an alcoholic.
Enabling, right?
Enabling, yes. So look at it really strongly, and I would.
She gets a little fired up on this issue. You should see her face right now. It's all red and it's got veins.
I don't
out of her forehead.
I have fallen into the codependency trap so much in my life, during my life, and just when I think I'm done with it, I do it again.
Well, stop it.
I have stopped it.
Oh, well, good.
That's why I don't do things for you.
Yes, you do. You do a lot of things.
Well, you do back for me, so
You're not codependent with
no.
me.
No alcohol for you.
No, definitely. You don't want to see me drunk.
No.
All right, Pam. Well, good luck.
Yes.
And then the next comment we have is the sweetest one, which is our soul sister, Daena, who was on Sisters for the Soul with Morgana and Echo Bodine years ago.
Yeah.
And I got to join them as a guest a few times and also via...
and Daena's been here. She took the Melchizedek now.
I know.
I love you, Dara. So Dara is an amazing psychic medium and doing some muggle jobs right now. But she still has those strong gifts and is a great numerologist. So we're going to have her as guest on the show sometime.
Yes, we love Dara. She's been a guest on our Sisters for the Soul before.
She's my twin. Did you know that?
Yes, she is.
Yes. She's same birthday.
Mm-hmm. So let's skip over here to Maria because she's been listening to us on YouTube. And she's keeping track of us. She says we've been on 45 minutes. Thank you, darling. Somebody to keep track of us.
We're adopting her.
Yeah, so she actually has a question for you, Morgana. She wants to know, when did you know you were an angel communicator?
Okay, I'll try to think timeline because the angels give me a smart-ass comment like when they start talking to me. Well, the thing is, what happened was I was so in the Christianity, and the religion I was in was more about that the angels were messengers of God, and they really didn't care much for angels. So even to this day, anyone in that, and it's like Church of Christ Christian Church, very even stronger than Baptists, and they feel like that the angels that we work with might be the bad angels. So they're always like it's just crazy. So because of that, I started doing more work with the Native Americans and the Wiccans, and then the more ancient ways, and worked with the gods and goddesses. And I found out through working with the goddess energy, and that was probably about 9 years ago, that it was the combination of all that feminine divine is the archangel now.
Yes.
And so I would say that's when I really understood it was angels and began to understand more about the depth of angels and who they are. And then different angels would start coming to me and speaking to me. So it was about 9 years ago.
Okay. 9 years ago. Well, that was a long answer.
Yeah.
To a short question.
But it's important.
Okay, well, good. Maria also wants to know how she can stop her negative thoughts. Is it people I'm around? I wonder if I'm an empath. And yes, you're correct, Maria.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. It's not just being an empath that creates negative thinking. It also has to do with the structure that we were born into that is in place in our society right now.
Absolutely.
So everybody is going to have some kind of flow of negative thoughts. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And we're fed that in the media and everything else.
Yeah.
So it's reinforced.
And it's a part of the collective consciousness. So we are all going to be in tune to the collective unconscious that will affect us from time to time.
Well,
so,
we want to be in tune with the other one.
I understand, but because we're here on this earth, we are going to tap into this stuff every once in a while.
Absolutely.
And it's what we do with it when we're in it. And what I was just shown the other day is how to actually completely flatten out a person's cognitive mental programming and help them release a lot of the thoughts that get stuck and lost in the neural net of the brain. So there is a lot of energetic work that you can do to clear, a lot of brain reprogramming that you can do. When they say it takes 21 days to build a habit and it takes 21 days to break a habit. So if you are finding yourself in a negative thought pattern, like, okay, maybe it's at night before you go to sleep, you've got all these negative thoughts running through your head, you can do something different during that time. So if you're normally just staying awake in bed and just letting the thoughts run around, you may decide to go look in the mirror and do some positive affirmations. Or go out for a walk if you feel safe to do that in the middle of the night.
It's almost like redirecting.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's reprogramming your brain. So it will take about 21 days to complete the process. So,
And it might help to get an appointment with Daena so she can flatten your brain.
I will totally flatten your brain for you.
Daena is amazing. The other thing is our brains have, and this is such a good question, our brains have a positive, negative response. We're just wired that way. So we can say when we're trying to do positive affirmations that we have lots of money, we can say, oh, I have more money than I need, and your negative goes, no, your bank account's at zero. Mm-hmm. So you can retrain that by using this statement, because miracles are attracted to me. So it's like a sandwich statement. So find one subject, such as finances, for example. I have more money than I need because miracles are attracted to me. You don't give that negative voice a chance. You just kind of tell it to shut up, and you talk all over it by saying, because miracles are attracted to me. Mm-hmm. And then you go back and say, I have $10,000 in my bank account because miracles are attracted to me.
That's right.
Something else like that. But always keep that because miracles are attracted to me in the middle.
I love that. And what was that one you did? My cash flow?
Oh, that's a different thing. For money, my cash flow is never ending twice as much as I am spending. And then you might want to say, because miracles are attracted to me.
Yes. I love
that cash flow is never ending. Andrea DeMichaelis told me about that first of Horizons.
Well, Andrea is just fabulous. I love her.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she is.
So,
okay. Well, thank you, Maria. Great questions. Kristen wants to know what is. Oh, excuse me.
She can't read.
Kristen, I bet she gets that a lot. What is blocking the perfect man from entering my sister's life? Also, any blessings you wish to bestow on my just born last night nephew, Quinn. Oh, we love you, Quinn. We love new little earth babies. The perfect man. Well, sister, I think, as you realize, has some patterns, some behavioral patterns in relationships that need to shift. I feel she's one of those girls who's eternally drawn to the bad boys, or the ones that aren't right for her.
Her picker's broken.
Yeah, it happens to all of us.
Yes.
Believe me, I've been there. And she's really got to focus on self-love and, obviously having the support of her family, you as her sister, having some other strong females around her is going to be really good for her. And then as soon as she's not looking, he will show up. So yes, she will, but it is going to take a period of time. I'm really not seeing anything this year because she's got a lot of her own work to do. So we send lots of love and blessings to you and your sister.
And Quinn doesn't really need
always showing up when we're not looking for it. So unfortunately, it's the paradox. As soon as you get distracted and focus on something else, that's when he comes in. And I do feel that the timeline with you is very shifty at this point. It really has to do with your focus. I do feel there's, again, you needing to change your people. Maybe not all of your people, but doing some different outings, being around some different people, that is going to attract in new vibrations for you.
Right. Yeah. So we can't really, it's hard to pick up on the when and where.
It really is.
Because what happens many times when you have a psychic that picks up on that, you start looking so hard that you end up blocking it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what they saw that was to appear changes.
Absolutely. That's why it feels like the timelines are shifty. So it really can be, but again, it's like the less you focus on it, the quicker it will come. I can definitely tell you that. Because of the fact that it just doesn't come when we're looking so hard.
Right.
So good luck to you, my love.
Yes. Terry, will July be a good month to get married in? That one I've been looking at, and it's like, that doesn't seem like the right month for that. I want to tell you the right month. And I'm hearing sooner than later.
That's what I heard too. I heard June.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was funny because I heard a really smart ass comment from the angels as well. Like, is any month a good month to get married?
They're such a class.
And it was funny when we were looking at information about Beltane. They used to do an ancient tradition called hand fasting. And hand fasting seems a lot smarter than actually just jumping in and getting married for the rest of your life. And, depending on the religion, you're married under the rest of eternity.
Yeah, I was in one of those.
Yeah, the hand fasting actually lasts a year and a day. So you go through a ceremony that's very similar to a wedding where you exchange rings or some kind of jewelry. And you tie a red knot around the hands, and you're committed to this being, this other being, for a year and a day. So I feel like that is a better way to go.
Yeah, because then you really get to know the person.
Yeah.
And then you can make that decision if you want to be committed for life.
That's right. Yeah. But if you do, I do feel you have a partner that is very supportive of you at this point, Terry. And as long as that continues, and you guys stay in a very uplifting each other, you will have a very successful marriage.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then we have Deb Sierra. Will I have a love life ever again?
Everyone's wanting love.
I know. Well, it's either love or money.
That's true.
Or career, which is money. So yeah, love and money is the two big ones. So Deb, yes, you will. And I'm hearing that you're already working towards that. So don't discount your own efforts.
That's interesting because as you said that, I'm getting that she's already met him. She just doesn't consider him love material.
Yeah, I see you, Deb, as
He's
someone.
different than what she would have picked.
You have a very long list of requirements.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, okay, what does Deb want in a man? And then she rolls out this scroll that falls out onto the floor and keeps going.
Yeah.
So it may not necessarily be the love that you're expecting. It usually never is. But it will be one that takes you to the next level and shows you the support and the love of the universe as well. So I do see this person as someone who's being very spiritually connected, very different than the type of relationships you're used to. So this will be a very positive thing for you. So just keep yourself open and allow people to support you. This is a message coming through for a lot of people listening now. We have a very hard time allowing other people in and allowing the support of others. We have too many control issues that we think we have to be the one.
I don't have control issues.
Sure. Sure. You have so many control issues that your control issues get upset.
Yes, they you.
So I'm hearing it's just allow those in your life to support you right now. You're definitely on the right path, Deb. Okay? Okay.
Sorry.
So we're just moving right along here. Just a few more and then we're going to end the show. Jennifer, why am I so angry at my coworker and how can I clear this negativity about it off myself?
Okay, so the smartest answers from the angels because your coworker's kind of an idiot.
Yeah, that was the next way to say it. I was going to use the A word.
Well, don't.
Okay, because this isn't restricted.
That's right. These are on YouTube. So, the best way to clear the negativity is to be in that pyramid of protection. And you can find it on Morgana Starr YouTube and just type in pyramid of protection. We will be putting the link on Facebook too. Really important that you do that so that you can stay in a peaceful state. Put that coworker in a box energetically.
Yes.
And I'm excited. I try not to talk over you, so I was saying, go ahead. So that will make a difference, and you'll find that whatever your coworker is doing, all that energy will just kind of slide off of you. Think about it, water off a duck's back.
Yes. And if you need more help on that later on, get in touch with us. Set an appointment with Morgana or I. We do a little more in-depth work as some of these irritations grow.
Yeah.
So there are other options as well, but start off with that and see how it goes.
Yeah. Then we might have to pull out the big guns.
Yeah. We won't talk about it on air.
No.
Okay. So Heather.
Yes.
My beautiful friend Heather from the White Orchid in Spawn, Flagler Beach, says, oceans of love and blessings to you both. What one thing can I do this month that would accelerate the integration of my higher self into physical form or assist me on my path in the most benevolent way? Heather always has good questions.
It's a good question because basically I'm going to reframe that and see if this is what she's asking, is how you can change your vibration. Basically to just go to the next level.
Yes, but I think she's really wanting to bring her higher self in more and closer into her physical being.
A lot of that is in meditation and using the pyramid of protection and pyramid inverted. Sacred geometry. Activating your Merkaba. Which that's what we teach in the Melchizedek method, and we'll be doing that in November, but that doesn't help you this month. But if you'll take that, okay, so what I'm hearing Annelle say, if you'll start working with her symbol and drawing it in you and bringing in the breath fire of the feminine divine, you will be accessing, making the opening portal to bring your higher self in.
Yeah, and it's funny you said the pyramid inverted. I actually saw an upside down pyramid coming in to the point coming into her crown. So then she had the four sides going out upward into divine source. So doing some different pyramid work and bringing it in and allowing it to come out in the body. Oh,
Spin the pyramid.
okay. Spin the pyramid.
Spin the pyramid. Make sure you're in a protected space above and below. A lot of times people put protection around, but they forget to put it above and below.
Yes, very true.
And so put the white light in like a whole platform.
I agree with that 100%.
I agree, so it's good.
Yes, of course. We're going to argue on air anyway.
Yeah.
But just kidding. Did you just give my dog your water? My water?
I'm going to.
Oh, okay. Sure. She's so spoiled. She can just drink my water.
There, she's going to lick it off the floor.
Okay, one more question, and then we're going to shut her down.
Okay.
Teresa, our beautiful friend who just visited us from California.
Awesome.
Am I getting closer in getting my solar plexus where it should be? I am working on it.
I'm getting a yes. It's still going to take you a while. A while. You know more Denise. Okay, so it's got to a tiger's eye. I can get a tiger's eye.
Yeah, that'll be very
And bring with tiger's eye, bring in the big cat energy as totem. A lot of
like the tiger.
like the tiger, but also like the panther.
Okay.
Panther energy is about taking back your power that you gave away when you were young.
Yes.
So work with that energy.
Yes, because it does feel like that's one of the chakras that's the most damaged from some of the things that have happened in this life to you and from other lifetimes. People don't realize we still have a lot of gunk in our chakras from past lives. So a past life clearing and a past life, even a meditation or regression would be really, really good for you because there is still some gunk holding up that chakra. So yes, what Morgana said, bring the tiger's eye in, bring the energy of the panther in, and let that help you. But you still have some more work to do, which most of us do. So you're not alone. And I believe that's all the questions.
We did. Lisa told us that she loves us.
Oh, Lisa Frida. I said you said the last name again. I know, but I'm calling her out on air, and I think she would be very happy to be called out by us. We love her. She actually recently did our Melchizedek method of healing and kicked all her gifts back on, and she's doing fabulous. We love her. She's actually joining a team, a paranormal team, and doing some investigating and all that. Oh, and happy Paranormal Day. Today, May 3rd, which you'll be listening to this, most of you, on May 5th, but it is Paranormal Day today.
It's also Lumpy Road Day. Amelia sent that to us.
Happy Lumpy Road Day. Yes, so we are part of a group that uses this Blog Talk Radio show. And there are other shows coming up, so please join.
It's Amelia Pisano Productions.
Yes. Yes. And yes, and there's other shows on here as well, different nights of the week. So join us on Facebook so you can see all the different events coming up. And there's going to be some great guests coming on the shows coming up soon.
On all the different shows. Jim Heater's doing one, Paranormal Geeks Radio. I think that'll be fun.
Yes, it is. I listened to the last one.
Okay. And then Portals Through the Ages. Amelia's getting together with Andrea Perone, that wrote the book, House of, oh dear.
Haunting.
It was a haunted house. Anyway, the movie was made out of it. Andrea's amazing. So we'll be posting when their shows are on our Facebook page. So check that out. We love you all, and we will be back next Friday, right?
Next Friday at 6 August out. No, I just want to figure out how I can stop that.
Now she doesn't know how to stop the show.
And the recording.
We'll put that.
Okay. Click that.
Click that.
I did.
And then click that. And I don't know what any of this means.
I don't know either.
So maybe, what's the file say? Go to the file. Log out.
No, I don't want to log out. We got to end the show first.
So if anyone's listening to this show, we really need technical help. Does anybody know a 16-year-old out there can help us?
Listen, the fact that I was able to finish live on YouTube is very